Hi everyone, this is Skillshop 99 Gaming. This is Play Dead Live Tag Team Season Number 2 intro. This is going to be kind of like an open mic session. We have a few things that we're going to talk about with the new teams and the new format, some of the new rules, new strategies, capture the flag element that is going to be incorporated in some of the matches, and team names, a little bit of everything tonight. So before we get into it, let's start out with just a little bit of a, and this won't be a super long stream. It'll probably be maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So certainly want you guys to have a little bit of time off. I know you guys have been working really hard with Play Dead Live and also the PvP. So let's start out with a little bit of a hype video. So here we go to get you thinking about season number 2. Here you go. Season 1 went down to the wire, but when the dust settled, the Twisted Sisters were the only team remaining. As teams went back and discussed their strategies, one shot here, one heal, one seal, could have been the difference between winning and losing. The tag teams are back, and the teams are more geared and more hungry than ever to win it all. Could PvP armor or brace armor be the difference this season? Perhaps a brand new pet with new abilities can surprise your opponent. Even the legendary making the difference between winning and losing. This smoke clears. Will you be delivering a knockout punch, or will you be one down? Exactly, everybody. Are you going to deliver the knockout punch, or are you going to be the person that is down for the count? We got some really, really cool stuff coming out this season. I guess we'll just kind of start out with, let's talk about these schedules and the groups. So I've decided to set it up similar as before, but based on gear, based on ability, based on a lot of different things that went into this. So here it is, everybody. This is not including the team names. I want you to kind of take an eye of who's playing first and foremost, because the next one's going to have team names. So we have Group A and Group B, and we will have 2 different tournaments and 2 different championships. So take a quick look at this. Even some of the players in Group B will qualify for the bigger tournament of 10 people, and then some of the people are still getting geared. There's going to be a secondary tournament. So all teams are going to have a chance to really get in and compete. So this is what we got. First of all, with the schedules, I'll show you that in a minute. Each of you will be playing every team in your group one time. Every team will be playing 6 matches. So that means every match is super important. We're going to talk about scoring and how some of those things could go down. Look, with the timers, we know there's not going to be as many 10-0 type of matches. So there's going to be some really, really good gameplay. So Group A, and I'll change the names in a minute, but I want you guys to see who the players are. So you might want to take a snapshot of this, because when I show you the next screen with the schedule, the Twisted Sisters will be the Twisted Sisters, and then the other names will be named. So in Group number A, we got Bonnie and Amanda. We got Jim and Julia. We got Tank and Dimes. We got Will and Ray, Kel and Jay, Rocket and Trigger, and Bones and Villar. And in Group B, we've got a couple teams really starting to make a move at the end of last season. We got Ben and Flyrod. We got the Killer Bees, Sheila and Busy Bee. Football Master and Ron, brand new team. We got Nixie and Julie J. I'll give you their team name in a minute. It's really cool. But Nixie and Julie J rocking Tier 1 gear 2. We got Hippo and Bilal, little better geared and super, super strategic team. I love me some Hippo and Bilal. If you guys probably noticed that Mist is back in action, and I did reach out to Mist. She was going to retire, and Football Master was going to play with Father Ron, but Dahlstrom wanted a tag team partner, so I talked Mist out of retirement, and Mist and Dahlstrom. And then, of course, we got Chuck and Cheryl. Chuck and Cheryl are going to get it done this year. They're going to get on the board. And even if they don't qualify for the big tournament, there's going to be a secondary tournament of the other 4 teams that are going to be playing down to the wire. So there's going to be rewards for both teams. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. On any given night, we're going to we're going to have a main event match almost every single night. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I think with some of the format, some of the gameplay, it is going to be hard. It is going to be very, very hard to win a championship this season. Because if you look at these groups and the way they're set up, and no offense to anybody else in Group B, but Beasley, Football and Ron, and Ben and Flyrod, they were all big, strong tournament players at the end of last season. So them being in Group B, there's no real easy matches. And then you got Nixie and Julie J really starting to come into their own. Hippo and Bilal, I think Mist and Dahlstrom will be strong. Mist, it's got a lot of experience. Dahlstrom's got other game experience. And then I got a feeling Chuck and Sherrill are going to start to make a move this season. Because, well, they just will. They're good players, but I got a feeling that they're going to be a little bit better geared this season for this tournament. And then if we talk about Group A, I mean, tell me an easy night. If you're in Group A, tell me an easy match that you're going to have. On any given night, if all of these teams are playing each other, you're going to have championship caliber matches every single night. When Bones and Villar play Tank and Dimes, there's no easy match there. When Rocket and Trigger go against Jim and Mod, Kel and Moon going against Will and Ray, and we got the Will Sickle match. And then who wants to play B-Dub and Amanda? Nobody. I mean, they have never been beaten. Now, look, I'm not saying they're going to get beat this season, but I will say it is highly unlikely they go undefeated this season. There's just too many good teams out there. I mean, you can't have an off night. You can't even relax because on any given night, it is going to be a madhouse. And as teams start to rise through the ranks a little bit, watch out. Watch out for the Killer Bees. Watch out for some of these new teams. I think, for example, Nixie and Julie J are last year's Killer Bees. I think they're starting to turn the corner. And I think Mist and Dow, nobody knows what to expect, right? And Hippo and Bilal, you're always going to get a match with those guys. Yeah, we could not get another team in. So I had a schedule set up for 15 teams, and we had a couple people for the 15 teams that backed out. So this is where the schedule, and next season I would say if you guys really, really want to get in PvP, we have a couple players that might want to get in a little bit later on. About halfway through the season, you're going to have to start looking for a partner. So we had to make this happen by this Wednesday. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I am super, super excited about the matchups that we have and the schedules that we have. So just keep a close eye, learn the strategies, and jump in there. Just jump into the fray. All right, so are you guys ready to see a couple of the team names? So here we go. So a couple of the team names. Not everybody's gotten back to me, but we got the Twisted Sisters. We got Jim and Julia. They sound a little angry. Could there be a B-Dub and could there be a Twisted Sister rivalry with Fire and Brimstone? That's no joke. That is like, you know what? We're not going down a third time. So Fire and Brimstone looks like they're back. And then there's a lot of anger this time around. And then Dimes and Tank, Manic Mayhem. That's like crazy and crazy. That's like a double negative. I get if you're Manic and Mayhem, maybe that means like you're happy and there's butterflies around. I don't know. I think like one undoes the other one. And then you got Will and Ray. Ray gave me about a 20-word name, and I was like, Ray, come on, man, it's the Outlaws. we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it easy. It was something like new wave, super duper, you can't touch this, Outlaws of tomorrow or something. I don't know. It was a whole paragraph, and I had to just cut it down. So they're the Outlaws. Rocket and Trigger. I need you guys to get back to me unless you plan on being Rocket and Trigger. And of course, Amy and Villar with the two Knoxes. I guess they're Knoxes. Maybe they're two Knox. You know, again, these words that end with X, I never know if they're singular or plural. Noxon, Noxi, obnoxious, whatever. Anyway, it's Knox Landing. And then if we go to Group B, we've got Tin Rod, the Tin Man, and Fly Rod. Killer Bees, Sheila Beasley and Busy Bee. Masters of Faith, because you had Father Ron and you had Football Master. Oh, I miss Smiling Moons. And Smiling Moons, Moonshot, and Kel says smile. So nice play on words there. And then one of my favorite is Heart and Soul, because that is Heart of Nixie, and in Julie J is all about, she's Acolyte, right? So it's about the soul, so Heart and Soul. I thought that was clever. And then we need Hippo and Bilal to come up with something, Mist and Dahlstrom. And I think Chuck and Churl, we just need to keep it Chuck and Churl. You can't really improve on perfection. And Chuck dancing in those leggings with those flippers, man, I'm going to tell you, dude killed me. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to give you the first couple weeks' schedules. I will post the entire schedule on the fan page, but this is the first couple weeks. So starting on the left side, you can see Wednesday night, we've got starting it out in our prime time main event. Get ready for Wednesday night. I know they were Churl's leggings. That's what made it so funny. But you know what? I'm also going to do something for all the people who participated in the dance contest. So there'll be show up on Saturday for the pack opening event, because everybody submitted dance videos. We're going to do a little something for you guys. So Wednesday night, getting right out of the gates, day number 1, Fire and Brimstone versus Knox Landing. You want to see some action. I mean, you're starting out. I promised that Bones and Villar would be playing on Wednesday night. I said we were going to get them out of the gates, and they are going to face some Fire and Brimstone right out. So, Bones, you had a couple weeks off, but I'm going to tell you, you're dealing with an angry, angry group of sisters there. Because Jim and Julia, they're still seething from that championship loss. And Bones and Villar were one of the hottest teams in tag team going into the tournament. So I think every single night you're going to have a main event match. Then we got the Killer Bees coming straight back at you with Chuck and Churl. And with Chuck's dance video, I am going to do something for Chuck and Churl to help them out with gear a little bit for Wednesday night. So watch out, Bees. They're going to be a little better geared. It's going to be a great match. And one thing I'll tell you, with the Bees and with Chuck and Churl, always an entertaining match. So you certainly want to show up for that one at 9:45, because you will laugh. You will have it's just very entertaining. And then closing out Wednesday night, another 5-star blow you away match. Look at this. the Manic Mayhem versus Rocket and Trigger. Another set of semifinalists. It had Tank and Dimes last year. Now it's Manic Mayhem losing in the semis. And then you had Rocket and Trigger losing in the semis. So you talk about two teams that were super, super close to getting there. That's going to close out Wednesday night. And then something I'm looking forward to, Monday night. Monday Night Madness. And Dahlstrom and Mist, this gives you guys about a week to prepare. This worked out great because you've got former tag team partners, Mist and Football Master, facing off against each other in week number 1. This is great. You could not script this any better. So you've got the Masters of Faith, Father Ron and Football Master, versus Mist and Dahlstrom. Oh, there we go. Hippo. Hippo in the house. I see you, Hippo. So they are. See, I thought you guys would be like ICP or something, Hippo. Ringmasters, I like it. All right. Hippo and Bilal are the ringmasters. Done. You know, we might have every team named by the end of the night. So Monday night, another prime time. Look at this, 9 o'clock Monday night. Mist and Dow. Start doing your strategy now. Get your behind the scene. What it's going to take to win. And versus that highly anticipated tag team. Father Ron and Football Master. Are they ready to kind of turn the corner and be one of those top 4 teams? I think they can. But you guys saw Dahlstrom bundled up last week. I know he still needs some XP, but by the end of the season, Dahlstrom be leveled up. So that's going to be a team I think is going to start catching some some rhythm about halfway through. And then right after that match, another one. This one, I will tell you, of all the matches last season, the Nixie, Julie J, Bilal, and Hippo match where they were on that little brick area in the stairs, probably one of the more entertaining matches in a short area. So we're drumming that up again. Heart and Soul versus the Ringmasters right there. And then, oh boy, Monday night at 10:30. Monday night at 10:30. We got the former Kel and Moon versus Will and Ray. Are we going to see Will Sickle Part 4? So we've got the Outlaws versus the Smiling Moons. Oh boy, I'm looking forward to that one. Who is going to get out of the gates? You know there's going to be some BT7s up in there. Win or lose, there's going to be a BT7. And then look at Wednesday night. Wednesday night, we come back with Chuck and Cheryl versus Ten Rod. The Smiling Moons coming right back versus Fire and Brimstone, playing twice in a week. Kel, that's going to be like a short recovery. And then you got Knox Landing versus the Twisted Sisters. So we get the defending champion making their debut next Wednesday night at 10:30. So, great matchups all the way around. And then we look at page 2, Hippo and Bilal, Killer Bees, Outlaws, Manic Mayhem, Heart and Soul versus Masters of Faith, Ten Rod versus Mist and Dahlstrom, Twisted Sisters versus Rocket and Trigger, and then the list just goes on and on and on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As I said, this is the first couple weeks, but based on what you guys see up there on the screen, if you had to pick a match or two right now, which matches are you most looking forward to seeing over the first couple of weeks? This gets us all the way through June. Killer Bees versus Masters of Faith. That's going to be a good one. Outlaws versus Manic Mayhem. So, if you guys thought, I see you will, note to self, stay away from light post and goal post on Monday. We went from good, really good singles to exciting tag team to really, really high-end competitive gaming. So this season is going to test you guys, and as people get more and more geared, I could not be more thrilled or more excited about this coming up tag team season. It is going to be unbelievable. If you just look at that screen right there, there's not going to be an easy week. We're going to be keeping up with points. Now, I am going to explain how we're going to do capture the flag. So, first of all, this season, capture the flag is not going to be in every match. One match per night is going to be randomly chosen with a capture the flag element. I think we've got a really, really good PvP structure. I think we've got very competitive gameplay. And I do want to test cage matches and battle to the death and capture the flag and King of the Hill and all those things will roll out eventually in our tag team and give you a strong variety. But I also want to make sure that we keep some of the games really pure, so the strategies that you guys have put into place are still going to be successful strategies. Now let me explain what's cool about capture the flag. Okay. For illustrative purposes, if this were a map, and I will use the defending champion avatars. So let's say Bonnie was fighting Unforeseen. So as you notice, there's 3 different areas for flags. So here's the way a capture the flag match would work. All right. So let's say on turn number 1, Amanda says, I'm going after the flag, and they'll be numbered. So a flag is going to count as 1 point. A kill of your opponent is going to count as 2 points. So if you're playing someone and nobody dies, but your team gets the flag, you win. Easy, right? Any questions with that? If 2 teams are playing each other and it's damage, heal, damage, heal, damage, heal, and one team got a flag and the other team didn't, the team that has the flag is going to win. Now, if one team gets a flag, but the other team kills one of their players, then the team that killed one of their players is going to win. Pretty straightforward so far, right? All right, if everybody's still with me, let me know. Now, here's what's going to make capture the flag a little bit difficult. And this is why we're only doing it one team. Now, a lot of people are going to say yes, and then we're going to get in the middle of a match, and somebody's going to say, well, wait a minute, we captured a flag, and we only died once. Why didn't we win? So I want to make sure I am doing these streams for your benefit because I know I'm going to get questions. So if you have questions, please ask. All right. So let's say Amanda is turn number 1. Doesn't have to be turn number 1. She could cast a pet. She could cast bombs. But let's say on turn number 1, she goes first, and she says, you know what? I am going to go after this flag. So she goes over here. Now, why Amanda is focused on this flag, Bonnie can bomb, can grenade, can pet, whatever, and Amanda can't do anything about it. She can't even cast a prevention spell if she were a priest. She is focused on that flag. And she loses her next turn as if it were a revive potion. So Amanda goes in turn number 1. She goes after the flag. And you have to go over to the flag. So Bonnie could go after this flag. Right? So Bonnie, would you go after the other flag? Or would you attack Amanda? So let's put the ball in Bonnie's court. Okay, so Bonnie would attack. So that means Amanda's going to take an attack here. So let's say Bonnie hits with, she has a pet, and she throws a grenade. Bam. So I don't care if it's a BT7. Nothing Bonnie does is interrupting Amanda's focus on the flag. If she gets BT7, she comes right back down on the flag. Next turn, she will unveil that flag. So it's at the end of the next turn. So Amanda's next turn, she can't do anything. And, uh-oh. What did you guys notice about that flag? There is none. There is no flag there. So Amanda just wasted a whole turn going over here, and Bonnie got a free attack on her, and now Bonnie's going to get another attack. So let's go back in time here. Let's say Amanda went after this flag. And let's say Bonnie went after this flag. Now both are going to miss their next turn. So then you get to the end of that turn. Amanda got a flag, which means Bonnie did not get a flag. So now you probably got about 5 minutes into the game, and Amanda's already got a 1-0 lead. You better believe Bonnie's going to roll up the sleeves and go all out with as much firepower as possible, because now she's looking a loss right in the eye. And Amanda might say, you know what? Fine. I'm going to play super defensive now because I got a lead on you. So I've got this Ring of Iris. Go ahead and cast. Oh, I've got a blue. Go ahead and cast. So now all of Amanda's moves might be defensive moves to get to 45 minutes, because if you don't kill her, she's going to win. So now if you are a tank or you're a healing class, your prevention, your mitigation becomes a strategy. But it is very risky going after a flag because you don't know. And as an opponent, you've got to decide, wait a minute, do I feel lucky? What? Well, I mean, let's say the tables were turned, right? Bonnie goes over here and Amanda goes over here. Well, then you got two people that don't have flags. So you know somebody better be shooting like a tar arrow. So Amanda might want to shoot a tar arrow at Bonnie, keep her here, and then go over because she knows that that next one has a flag. So maybe she's going to want to slow her down and say, you know what? I'm going to take all the damage you can throw at me for 2 turns because you're not going to be able to kill me more than likely in 2 turns, and I know I'm getting this flag. So it changes. There will always be 3 possibilities and 1 flag. Now, well, let me put it this way, Ron. There will always be at least 3 possibilities and 1 flag. We could have some big maps that have 5 possibilities. And let me say this, Ron. I reserve the right to change that as well. So if it doesn't work, I'll revamp it. But right now it works. With the strategies and the gameplay so far, I like it. But, your partner can absolutely protect you. But your partner can still do what your partner does. But it's not going to change anything because you are still going to be basically spending 2 turns. You cannot cast a pet and go to the flag. You cannot cast a bomb and go to the flag. A flag is a commitment. It's not a movement. So what I don't want people doing is saying, all right, I'm going to cast a pet, cast a bomb, and then I'm running over to the flag. That's not the way it works. You designate at the beginning of your turn, you are going to that flag. You have to be in range of that flag. You can't run 60 yards. If you're within your 30-yard range, you say, I'm going to the flag. Don't give me 3 actions. Don't say I got smoke in mask, I'm doing heal potion. No. There is no smoke in mask. There is no heal potion. When you go to that flag, that is your move, and you will lose the next move as well. Where's Dahlstrom? So Dal, in high-end PvP gameplay, who runs the flags? Which class runs the flags in competitive PvP gameplay usually? Okay, well, I will tell you this, Father Ron. You likely are not killing Fly Rod in 2 turns. Usually tanks have a much, much better time grabbing flags. So I could seriously, and maybe we'll do this at some point. I mean, the problem is I know the items because I invented them. But I could play a sniper with a tank, and I'd put that down as a challenge, mirroring the gear of my opponents, and I could beat any two people playing the game. There are ways to do it. You have to research you got to know the items. You got to really dig in. But a sniper tank combo, if you have the right items and you play it right, you ferocious. But you have to play your class the right way. You can't, as a sniper, get into a hand-to-hand DPS battle with Bonnie or with Jim or with Julia or with Ray or with any of those. But the strategy to winning with a sniper tank is a lot different than the strategy of winning with two other classes. And you have to play well off each other. And the key is you have to know the items that you need. And if you don't get those items, you need to trade for those items. Every class has 2 or 3 items that are perfect for your gameplay. And look at the options that you guys have now. You've got chill arrows, sleep arrows, stun bombs, glass bombs that break seals. I mean, you've got so many items at your disposal to either capture a flag or to win a long, drawn-out battle. Or to take down an opponent that's light in base life. So we are going to start referring to base health as base life. Mist, if you can update that in your notes. Health is going to be health. Your base is going to be referred to as base life. So we get a clear distinction between the two. I am very excited about Capture the Flag, but this season, it's going to be an element of some matches, but it's not going to be in every match. So Wednesday night, and each match will have a random assignment. Yes. Total health will still include the 5 base life, but there's people that get confused when I say base health and overall health. So I'm just going to add the term life to it. I got a couple other announcements that I want to make. So, did everybody get their inventory? Raise your hand if you did. Awesome. Need to had some very important notes. So I did want to make a couple additional announcements. And if those of you that have your inventory, go through and check them. I think you're going to find, number one, please read the descriptions. So I've got about 25, maybe 20%, 20 to 25% of the items now have descriptions. So if there's a question about what an item does, the descriptions will get better and better. Every week I try to go through and I'm adding more descriptions of the older stuff, and then all the new stuff has descriptions. So it'll tell you like what the Sin 7 does. It'll tell you what the Nox does. It'll tell you each one of those items. So please go through it. The most insulting thing that you can do to me at this point is to get in a match when I've spent hours updating items and descriptions and say, what does this item do, when you have the PDF right in front of you? I know it's going to happen from time to time, but please, do some of the diligence on your part as well before you just ask what an item does. Okay, now that I've got that kind of cleared the air with that, we have some really cool stuff that happened. So some of you guys, when you're missing bionic threads, bionic torsos, bionic wildcards, when you're missing those items, unless it's like you're missing one from a pack opening, if you had it and you're missing it, then it was taken out of your inventory to upgrade another item. So here's a couple announcements that I want to make. All right, first of all, Gemstone and Gina Crockett are the first two players in history to upgrade the second tier of bionic torsos. So that means they had turned in 10 of the Onyx, and then they reset, and then each of those players just turned in 15 Onyx and 15 Pearls. So I deducted 15 Onyx and 15 Pearls from their inventory, and they have a brand new item called Complete Bionic Torso Set Pearl, which now gives them 2 additional base. So that means they have 3 additional base because they have the first turn in and the second turn in. Now, there's a couple other players that are really close on that second turn in. Like they need like 1 or 2. All right, in addition, Flyrod, Sheila Beasley, and Valar all turned in their first set of Bionic Torso Onyx. So Flyrod, Sheila Beasley, and Valar all added 1 additional base. So those 3 added 1 additional base. Gina and Jim added an additional 2 for a total of 3. But one more thing, you guys know, the first ATT, when we rolled this out, was bionic elbow, bionic shoulder, bionic hand, bionic foot. And you had to collect 1 of each of those. So players were having a hard time getting it, so we added the wild cards. So now you don't have to collect 1 of each of those. All you need to collect is 4 wild cards. Now, if your ATT is below the max, 1 of those wild cards will go to raise your ATT first and foremost. But once your ATT is maxed, all you need is 4 wild cards, and then you raise your ATT 1. So Busy Bee, Football Master, and Sheila Beasley again all had the wild cards. I took those out of your inventory, and now your ATT went up 1. So look in your inventory. So Sheila Beasley had a pretty good Mother's Day. I was messaging her last night and said, wow, your base health went up and your ATT went up the same day. So she was able to turn in both. So those new players, all you need, and remember when we did the bundles before, and I said anytime you see a wild card, you pick up the bundle with the wild card at a minimum. And we had some people, they would buy like a $20 bundle with grenades in it, and they wouldn't buy the $10 bundle that had the wild card. And it would have been cheaper. Now, I know they wanted to get the firepower, but first and foremost, anytime you see ATT 20 potions and you don't have them, you get those. Secondly, if you see wild cards, you try to get the wild cards. Whether it's a trade-in, a bundle, or whatever the case may be, wild cards are going to be important to you. I'm not telling you have to go out and you got to spend hundreds of dollars every time. I'm just saying if there is the opportunity and you were going to buy anyway, get the wild cards because that raises your ATT. So once you cash in those 4 wild cards, then it's a little bit harder because then you have to have basically 20 wild cards to cover each one of the bases, and then you got to have 5 of each color thread. And then once that's cashed in, and we got a couple people working on this, we got a couple people that are close to the 3rd ATT, which you put them at ATT 14. Then the next one is going to be 10 of each wild card, which would be 40 wild cards, 10 of each thread, 10 bionic hearts, and 10 bionic red thread, which is going to put you at ATT 14. So not real close, but closer. Like, that's a lot of wild cards. I mean, 40 wild cards, a lot of wild cards. But we do have some people working on that are probably over halfway there. So, and then, with the torso, the 3rd torso, that's a little harder to get to as well. So, long term, and as you guys know, there's the brand new weapon, bionic weapon sets, the bionic hammer. So we got some people have 5 or 6 of those already. First one of those going to raise your damage by 1. So now you have ways of raising your damage and raising your base life and raising your ATT. So, I implore you, look at your inventory when we send these out, because too often somebody won't look at their inventory and they'll have 9 onyx. And there was a bundle that had 1 onyx in it and they needed that to level up. And they'll message me and say, "Oh man, I didn't know I only needed 1, or I would have gotten a different bundle." Well, you got to look at it. I mean, I can't look at all your items for everybody. All right, I think I've beat that topic to death. So, the less time I'm explaining, though, honestly, the more time that I'm getting all the descriptions in there. My goal within a couple weeks is to get all the descriptions up for you guys, and then I know we want to work on the guide, but the inventory sheets will be a temporary guide for all of you. It's going to really help you with your gameplay. How many people have had a chance to start looking over the last couple weeks at the descriptions in the inventory lists? Are you finding some questions answered? Are you finding some of the things are helpful? And it'll get more and more descriptive. Like in the beginning, it may say damage and base or so on and so forth. But a little bit later on, you're going to see more extensive descriptions. And you're probably going to see in some of the description which chapter the item was rolled out. I tested that in a couple. Like, that way if you want to go back and say, hey, when was the Redbeard rolled out? And you'll see like the Redbeard 8 was rolled out in Crimson Cove. And then you'll see like the RB9 was rolled out as a pack opening. So I'm going to add a little bit more to it. You'll probably see, some of the lore and some of the history later on of the BT7. But everything is based on time. So, cool. Hey, we're about 50 minutes in. I was only going to do this as a 30-minute stream and give you guys a night off, and I was going to take the rest of a night off. So I'm going to open it up for any questions that you guys may have. I've seen some trades go through. So remember, you can do multiple trades. You got trade tokens. So if there's items that you need, make it happen. Think about your strategies. There's certainly a cause and effect relationship to almost everything that we do. But capture the flag is going to be one additional way. But like, my goal is to get away from mirror matches. So I'll look at their PDFs right now, Nixie, so I'll have to go look at it. I don't know what you guys are getting. All I do is PDF it. I mean, maybe, or I could send it as a Excel. But honestly, I have access to the whole thing, so I haven't looked at one of the emails that came through, so I don't know what the descriptions say. The reason teams of 3 are not very good is, 1, the maps are a challenge. Number 2, with a 45-minute timer, you're probably going to get 3 turns. So if you think about that, Angel, 3 turns, I mean, what are you going to do in 3 turns? I think tag team is really like, it's the sweet spot of PvP. It's not as long and as extensive as 20 moves in some of the singles matches. It's 7 to 10 turns. And it's a good, comfortable strategy and a gameplay. So a 3-person team at a minimum would have to be an hour and a half. Here's what I would say to the people that don't have partners. Is take time to learn the game and start figuring out who you want as a partner. And if we have a couple people that want to play, then they just got to get the word out. I mean, I honestly, I had people trying to find partners for people. So that should not be the nature of tag team. If you're passionate about playing and you're passionate about PvP, then get the word out and find a partner. Jim, I'm going to say no at first. I will say if there's a one-off, then message me. Because here's what I'm going to ask. Okay. And I'm going to bounce this back. Who here would like to draw up a schedule? And maybe Amy can answer this. Who would like to draw up a schedule and have 30 different people message you and ask you if they could change a time, a date, or an event? Because I don't know anybody here that wants to take on that responsibility. It is a pain in the ass. The only way I can tell you. Because you're dealing with every single person's schedule. It is a nightmare. You guys have to worry about you and your teammates' schedule, not 30 other people. So part of the reason why we put the schedule up there, I know there's going to be matches that are forfeited during the regular season. Some people are going to be on vacation. Some people travel. But when we open it up and teams start to say, well, this works for this person, this works for that person, you open up a can of worms for every single team that's out there. Now, on some exceptions or some rare circumstances, I've looked at it and I've done it for the element of good gameplay. But let me put it this way. It's not going to be done in an open forum. It's not going to be done in chat. If there's a specific issue that's like a one-off issue, I will personally look into it. And if I think if I can do it and it does not affect any other teams that's out there, then on occasion I will make an exception because I own it. But what I don't want is I don't want everybody making an exception and say, well, why did I have to forfeit this match and such didn't have to forfeit this match. So not everybody's going to make it. There's 6 matches. There's going to be birthdays, there's going to be anniversaries, there's going to be travel, there's going to be vacation. There's going to be all of those things. And there's 6 matches. So if you forfeit a match, you still got 5 other strong matches. I mean, I hope that's not the case. But sometimes there's going to be emergency situations and things happen. But, if we get to a point where it's 3 matches or 4 matches, then we got to look at it and say, why was this person in a PvP league? So that's kind of my answer to the question. I know there's going to be exceptions, and in some circumstances, I may step in and if there's 2 teams that it makes sense for, it's a possibility. But if you ask me in chat right now, my answer is going to be no. But, if you miss a match or 2, the prize is the tournament. And the better you play during the season, the better your tournament ranking is going to be. And the better, in theory, the easier match you're going to get in the first round and the second round. It doesn't mean that, look, you and Julia made the finals, and you guys weren't the number 1 or number 2 seed. You were like 4th or 5th. It just made it a harder path. You had tougher matches that you had to win, but, anything is possible. Hopefully that, I think it's a fair question. But the other thing is, a forfeit, you don't get a win, but at the same time, it doesn't kill you. And it doesn't help the other team a whole lot either. The other team gets a win, but they get a 1-0 win. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, Jim, is like you were number 8 seed and number 4 seed. So, you know the path can be done, but I will say that Bonnie's been number 1 seed twice, and she's won it both times. So I think being number 1 seed certainly helps out as well because the matchup is a little bit more favorable. By the time you get to the finals, and I think we need more data. Once we get 3, 4, 5 seasons in under our belt, then we'll probably be able to really look at it and say, wow, you really want to be the number 1 seed because only the number 1 seeds are winning. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens this season. If the team is ranked number 1 at the end of the season wins again, that'll be 3 for 3. So, but if a number 2 or number 3 seed wins, then, we got some different data that we can kind of compare it to. So I'm just looking forward to getting a few seasons under our belt and see how many champions we have, which classes are winning. The other thing that can be said is we've had the singles finals were both Warriors. The doubles finals, 3 out of 4 were Warriors. But one thing that was interesting, though, is a sniper and a warrior won it. So, people can go back now and say, look, it's not all about warriors being the best class. I think a tank warrior combo would be good. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but this is only, it's only our 3rd season, so we're still kind of learning it. I thought Ron and Bloodfish did a good job of playing defensive. But a priest warrior, I think, is going to be a strong combination as well. And Ocean Man, I think Will and Nixie and Sheila are starting to learn the engineer class. And I think the engineer class is going to get a little bit stronger as well. So a lot of those classes have some potential. I love the explosive trap. I mean, I love a free explosive trap. So what additional questions do you have? Friday night. Let's talk about Friday night a little bit. I don't usually give you guys dire warnings, but I'm going to tell you Friday night, if you stroll in 5 minutes late and your armor's not ready to go and you don't know which weapon you're using and you don't have an elixir or a tape or some modification, good luck. I think Friday night, the rewards are going to be worth it, but this coming Friday is going to be easily the toughest situation the group has ran into to date. And I can probably say that for the next couple weeks, because Crimson Cove is really about, it's about damage and coordination. But Friday night, I know you guys like to do your chats and your groups and your messages and clues and hints. This is just a straight up, you guys better be ready to bring it. Let me also say there were several players that I want to do something for. Number one, I don't know, I'll do this every week, but my play of the week was Father Ron using blue for friendly fire. I thought that was a nice play. So there was some bonus experience for that. And I will say Gina, Trigger, and Valar. Oh my goodness. Were they throwing some firepower out there? So I will say the three of them were up there as far as item usage. So some really, really good experience points for Valar, Gina, and also Trigger. And it equated, going back through it, it equated to good damage. Everybody's apologizing for all the people that they damaged on Friday night. Yeah, I think. Look, I mean, I know it wasn't a good moment at the end of it. The way things went down, some people got captured. There was some hesitation with the multiple copies of Will the Bills. At least 10. Ron, I don't have the exact numbers, but at least 10. Julie, I agree with that. I think the group did so well on the first fight, and you guys did. You guys, even with some new people there. And then the bottles threw everybody off. And then the second fight was pretty, I think because of the bottles, that the groups, you guys knew it was going to be a timed fight and it was going to be tough, and the damage was all over the place. And this week is going to be This week is going to be your biggest damage check. I'm not going to. There's a lot of fun coming up this Friday. So just enjoy the PvP on Wednesday night. We're doing random things tomorrow. Walking Dead on Thursday. And Friday night, I promised you guys that there are going to be a couple things that we did that were unlike anything you've ever seen in RPGs. This coming Friday is going to be something you've never seen. And then the following week is going to be something else that you've never seen. Completely innovative. So I'm hoping it has the effect that I want. You know, there's always a risk with rolling out new stuff that have never been rolled out before. But, hey, the bottles went well, right? Or maybe not so well. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Some of you guys have PvP matches on Wednesday. I'm hoping that there's some gear modifications. You get a chance to go through your inventory tonight, tomorrow. We are going to be doing random things tomorrow, so hang out with us. But if you get free time on a lunch break or something along those lines, get me your... I don't think there's going to be a lot of mistakes on them, to be honest with you. If there's a mistake on it, it probably is something that we didn't get corrected before. And I'm going to give you guys like a statute of limitations because at this point, you shouldn't be messaging me saying, hey, Kills, 3 weeks ago, you know, I had this item and it, you know, we should be good at this point. Because I did say a week ago I wanted you guys to go through it. So, I mean, we had multiple checkpoints. So, let's not go through stuff from a month ago. You guys got to find it. We got to get to the point where it's finalized. But I will say that with the new software, inventory is pretty smooth. So, there's a couple trades that a couple people missed getting to me. So, tonight, tomorrow, send me your trades, send me your gifts, send me your items you're going to use, send me your glyphs. Send me your modifications. A lot of you guys got new gear. If you got new gear over the weekend, fix it up. Get your stuff ready to go. Jim, I love it. So, I said this in a stream, and if you guys missed this, of all the items that we have, and maybe 700-800 items that are out there, my absolute favorite are the weapon skins. When you guys start to play around with those weapon skins and we get all the different gear and an RB12 is going up against a Singe 11. When you see all the different ways that you can modify your gear and you can have a complete cache of nothing but weapons and bows and there are going to be things that you want to keep for a long time, like the Phoenix 335. You're going to be able to upgrade and say, hey, I love this new bow. I want that BB7, but I don't want to get rid of this Phoenix 335. So as you start to get those extra skins, you're going to look through your inventory and find items that have little gameplay niches that you'll be looking for an edge. An item that just does something that nothing else does. And I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with that. So I'm super, super excited about... Okay, we got... all right, Tommy's like... Come on, Jesus. All right, Tommy's account is blocking everybody. So Nixie, Sheila, and Gemstone... we're going to wind the stream down in a couple minutes anyway, but apparently you guys just got 5-minute timeouts. So my apologies. So anyway, just as long as you three know that that was not intentional. Will the Bill have 17 BT7s? I'm going to put the name on the front of the wheel sickle. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Hey, with that being said, everybody, we're going to wind the stream down so nobody else gets timed out. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Check your inventory. If there's something that you specifically have not seen in a while that you want to see added to one of the championship bundles, send me a message. I don't go through all of your items, but some of you guys may say, hey, we haven't seen Unholy Smoke in a while, and you'll see that in a bundle. We will have championship bundles on Wednesday night. I know you guys have liked the last couple, so we're going to do something pretty special to break out the brand new season and to get you guys geared, hopefully, for Friday night. Thanks for everything that you guys do. I will see you tomorrow night for Random Things, and then we'll see you guys on Wednesday night for a little bit of PvP. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.